What's up? We're back with more Girls Band Cry. This is episode 9. You probably wouldn't notice if I didn't bring it up, but just in case, my hair is quite wet because I just washed it. So if you're like, man, this guy has really greasy hair, I don't know. I feel like I should say it up front because I can feel it very wet right now, but I don't want to, but it's on my mind, so I need to get it out there. Anyway, we're watching more Girls Band Cry today. We're on episode 9. That's crazy. We're very far through this series. And it feels like it in terms of story progression, because last episode was a pretty significant milestone, I would say. Nina said to Momoka, bitch, I love you. and they, they had a fight, but also they love each other. It's a really nice, complex relationship. I feel like now they might be more on the same page. I imagine they're still going to argue and fight a lot, but at least now maybe they'll be working together. They'll be fighting together against their common enemy, which is Diamond Dust. I wonder if we're going to get more of an insight into the singer of Diamond Dust in these episodes. I don't know if it's going to be yet, or if that's going to be something that they're going to do more towards the end of the season. I don't know. But let's just jump into it. Make sure to support this video if you can. Liking, commenting, subscribing. I'm a small channel, so every little bit helps me out a lot. I know some of you guys are just on this channel for Girls Band Cry, and that's great. That's wonderful. But please make sure to support these Girls Band Cry videos so that it's absolutely worth it. And also make sure, if you like my vibe at all, go check out some other videos on this channel or on my Gent Watches One Piece channel. I would really appreciate if you could go check out some other stuff. And I have a Patreon account which has the full-length versions of these reactions, so you just sync it up with your own footage, watch the whole episode with me, and it's early access, which means episode 10 of Girls Band Cry is on there right now. Go check it out. But anyway, let's jump into this. This is Girls Band Cry, episode 9. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that really sucks. It's not perfect. Makes sense. Does Tomo agree on some level? I feel like she might. Oh. Okay. So maybe she does agree, but she doesn't want to nitpick now. It's gonna be a Tomo episode? I'm really excited about that if that's the case. Crescent Moon came out. She doesn't want to push people away again. Man, I hate snakes. They let her in. Next week? That sucks. Oh. Oh, shit. Now they're all in Subarus. Rupa is so sweet. Oh my god, they brought the snake. Oh. Yeah, bond as a band. Come on, Subaru. You clever little scoundrel. You gonna play old maid or something? No! Tomo! Rupa's so observant. I love friends like Rupa who like are observant about people and caring. She takes care of people and then also takes care of other people.
別にわかりました。
Aww.
文句があるならいいな。負けました。なんだ、そもそもはうちのクーラーでしょ。少しは我慢しなさいよ。
She did, yeah.
ベンチで1時間ぼーっとしたり。
Aww. Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. Be nice to Nina.
なんか言いたそうだったんだけどな。どこ行くの？冷蔵庫に。古くなったらまずいだろ。水どうなると思ってるの？大丈夫だって。朝まで。
Oh, shit! The snake!
毒はないし、穏やかな。
Oh my god! Oh. Good job, Rupa. I can't believe Subaru's fine with the snake being on her shoulder. I agree with you, Momoka, honestly. I'd be doing the same thing. Oh, jeez, it's just a hairdryer. Wow. You're great at catching, Rupa. Oh my god, Subaru is going to attack someone. Oh my god. I mean, kinda on Subaru's side after that. They kicked down her door. Oh, that was nice of her. I wish I was a snake.
なんであんたと顔を合わせてなきゃいけないのよ。もう大事だって桃香さん言ってたよ。
Yeah, come on. Hang out.
時間私の練習見てくれない？
Watch me practice. That sounds kind of boring.
アコースティックですか？
Oh, but they're doing it.
小さい頃からピアノやってたって言ってたよね。関係ない。このくらい誰だってわかる。
No, they can't.
で、練習してると本当に指硬くなってくるんだな。
That's the first step to being a guitarist. Building those calluses.
あんたならそれが限界でしょうね。
Did she just tune it by ear, Nina?
じゃあ行きます。
Because that was impressive if so. I don't see a tuner.
もう一人ギターいると音も熱くなるし。無理。冗談じゃない。
Yeah, you were pretty unreasonable then.
どうだった？
She's just gonna say it was good.
ルパは私は専門じゃないので。でも音楽は詳しいんでしょ？
She doesn't want to criticize too much.
まあ。
It was fine, probably.
まあいいんじゃない？
Yeah.
趣味もっと上手くなりたいって。
Aww.
頼るんじゃなく力になって。
This is the longest we've seen Nina be sweet in a long time.
もちろんみんな
Just like
ともだけど。
innocent and nice.
別に言ってよ。
一生かかったってまともにならないわよ。
Damn. I mean, your advice is fine, but you word it terribly, Tomo.
友の物差しで話さないでよ。子供の子やってらんない。
Ooh. I can't wait to talk about Tomo's character in the discussion of this video. But Rupa always stands by her. It's so nice.
どの面下げてやってきた？
Well, she came back.
いや。
Oh, she went to Subaru's, right?
待って。
In 36 installments, please. That's very funny.
時なくなった？ なんで？まあ本人がそれな
Yeah,
らいいか。
good. That
それで
you've got a
スバルちゃんはどう思った？
you get inspired by
あ
that, Nina. You just want to get better.
私にだって言いたいことたくさんあると思うよ。でも友って多分臆病でさ。
Right now she
嫌われ
is,
たくない
yeah.
からこっちから近づくとガーちょっと似てるかも。
Yeah, I guess.
すいません。奥の水槽に入れておいたから餌食べてないけど大丈夫？別に。
I feel like the snake not eating is a metaphor. I feel like the snake's gonna eat when Tomo can be like properly
まだやってたの
honest.
ね。どうして嘘つくの？
because it makes it easier.
ともちゃん
Rupa always smiles when she's like, ah, shit's going down again.
東京に出てきてうまくいった人がみんな言うでしょ
But they probably did.
本当にそうなら誰でもな
They
れる
probably practiced their ass off and got lucky
ともちゃん
and
も
made
そ
the
のこと
right
は分かって
call.
て
親とは連絡取る気ないの。迷惑はかけないから。
Aww.
それからうちで一緒に住むように
Well,
なっ
they
て
have a lot of trust between
二
them
人で紅
then.
しょうが始めて私のギター一緒にステージで演奏できると思います
It's very admirable of Nina to be asking everyone this.
本気か
It's disappointing, but Nina's still like working at it.
ただい食べましたほら
Oh, he is eating.
本当だ。ダメだからダメって言っただけ。
Yep.
あれじゃ、
じゃあなんで弾いてもいいって言ったんですか
You can't commit.
それは、桃香と一緒にステージで演奏したいって。
Yeah. Oh.
でも結局、本音はチヤホヤされたいだとか、気持ち
In a roundabout way, yeah.
とか。
Do they hear Nina practicing? She's working hard at it on her own.
聞こえますよねいた
Yeah, I mean.
こうでこうでこうだっつうの言うこと聞けよこの私はっきり分かったんです
What Nina's doing right now, I can do this.
うまさとか
So I know the
内容
level
とか
she's
関係
at.
ないお
She's letting out her honesty. And look, Nina's unfazed by it. Oh, I love that.
下手くそ私こういうの大好きなんです
That's good, Rupa. I am as well.
いややっぱりどうな
Oh, Tomo, let it all out. Tell everyone what's wrong with the song.
この曲、今のままだと
It's
つまんないと
boring.
思うんだ。
Yeah. Let's add some spice, baby. And Momoka loves it. That's the passion she's looking for. She doesn't want to settle. Oh, I love it. Oh, I loved that episode. I love characters like Nina in stories like this because I think they're really interesting to get to know, and I think there's like, as a person who I love writing and I love characters and I love character development. These sorts of characters, oh my gosh, I'm going to keep this on because I need to cover that part of my hair. These sorts of characters are prime for great character development. So it makes them like great characters for this sort of show. Because she's so flawed, but so interesting. I mean, all these characters are so incredibly flawed. Except right now, we haven't seen too many of Rupa's flaws other than like possibly her being it might be that she's a bit too diplomatic, but it's kind of unclear whether or not that's actually a flaw. Generally with characters like her, that tends to be their flaw, but I don't see it too much in Rupa. I feel like she pushes people just enough, so I don't see currently in the show, I mean, like, maybe just that she's not like she's not absurdly driven, you know? It feels like she is enjoying it and she's like along for the ride. But if they were all to like continuously like push themselves like with that passion amazingly hard, I wouldn't be surprised if Rupa was the one that was left behind, because she doesn't have that burst of adrenaline passion that the other four seem to get at times. But anyway, I want to talk about Tomo because I really, really like her character, and I think it's super interesting. So she had, in the past, she was like completely herself and would nitpick people and it would be an issue because people are like, you're being a bitch and I don't want to deal with it and I don't want to deal with you and goodbye. And those people in her past are not wrong to have that reaction to her. In fact, Tomo reminds me a lot of Kageyama from Haikyuu. If you've ever watched Haikyuu, her character development is a lot like his, actually. Like, we can see right away, because Kageyama in Haikyuu, back in middle school, he was a setter. It's a volleyball anime. He was a setter. And he was like very demanding of his teammates and would yell at them and would tell them to be faster and be better and that they can't settle. And he would do that all the time until eventually they're like, fuck you, man. We're not doing this anymore. We're not going to follow what you tell us to do anymore because you're an asshole. And so because of that, he became like a lot more reserved about that sort of shit. So I like Tomo was in a very similar position, and I think it's a super interesting character type, and it seems like they're doing very similar things with the character, which is like the idea that, look, realistically, Tomo, if we were in a perfect world, the way for her to have her cake and eat it too, the way for her to get what she wants while also, keeping people close to her, is being able to learn communication a little stronger, which she could learn from Rupa, because Rupa's a pretty good communicator. The problem is Tomo does not know... Well, there's a few problems. But number one is that Tomo does not know how to communicate her criticisms to people. So when she communicates to Nina, like how she did with her guitar, she doesn't like, she either goes, it's fine, whatever, who cares, it's fine for an amateur, I don't care, she either do that, or she'll go, you should never pick up a guitar again. Like, it's a wide range. And what she's trying to say there is like, the way that you are playing guitar right now and the improvement you're going to make if you keep playing, like, if you keep the current sort of training regimen that you have, you're never going to get anywhere with that. And this is something that is actually quite difficult about being a musician. I'm speaking from the perspective... I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who... I'm not a musician. But this kind of applies to a lot of skill sets, which is... In skill sets, there's a name for it. I don't remember what the name for it is. But there's this phenomenon, there's this thing where when you first start doing something, you improve so quickly. Like, you go from not knowing how to do something at all to suddenly, holy shit, this is amazing. Like, here's a good example from me the other day, right? I was out bowling with some friends, right? And I hadn't been bowling in many years. And even when I did bowl back then, it was like I would bowl once every year and a half or something. Like, I never bowled. I'm taking out my phone for a reason. And so when I went bowling, we did, how many games did we do? 4 games or something, right? In the first game, I think I came last, right? There were like 9 of us there or something, and I came last, dead last. I was like, got a ball, 1 pin, 2 pins, got a ball. Then I would get like 7. Oh, wow, that was good. And then got a ball. It was like over and over again, right? Second game came around. I bowled for a bit. And then I went, oh, I'm starting to get it. And I got an okay kind of score because I kind of figured out kind of what I was doing and to follow through on my bowl. And so I got an okay score. I came like 2nd or 3rd in my grouping, maybe like 5th overall, something like that. Third game, I went down again. And I came like 2nd last, 3rd to last, something like that. Then the 4th game came around, and I started hitting like a strike, a spare, 9, 5, 9, spare. Like I was suddenly, like I had figured it out. Like I had started to actually, it started to click, right? And so by that game, I mean, I've got the score on my thing here, and it's gonna be blurry, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but I got 128, right? I bowled 128, and that was the best score out of all of us. So I got the first place out of all 9 of us or whatever in that, for I think the whole night, or maybe I think someone else may have gotten a higher score in a previous game, but it was I think a really good score for me, right? The reason I'm saying all of this is I went from bowling so shittily to getting a 128 within, you know, the hour and a half or however long that we were at the bowling alley. So I improved a lot in a short amount of time. Now, if I was to then try to get a 140, like 128 to 140 or so, I think that could take me weeks, months, you know? And if I was to try to improve to a 200, it might take me my whole life or whatever, you know? Like, it's to improve your score, and then to 300, you know, maybe I will never get a 300 even if I dedicate my life to it, or maybe I will get 1 or 2, you know? Like, improving when you start out is a lot easier, and then it gets much, much, much harder. The difficulty curve goes so much further up. So I think what Tomo's saying there is like, yeah, you're improving a lot now, but when you hit that wall, that difficulty curve, you're not gonna like continue improving at this rate, and so you're gonna flatline. You're not gonna go anywhere because you're playing so casually and you're improving steadily, and it's not sustainable. And that happened with me with guitar as well, so I understand why she's saying it in specifically with guitar. I got up to a certain point when I played a bit of guitar like casually. I taught myself, and by taught myself I mean I like looked up stuff online and stuff. Why can't I point at it properly? There's my guitar case, right? I taught myself guitar. I learned how to, I didn't have a guitar teacher is what I'm saying. And I learned how to, you know, I can do chords, I can do basic strumming, and I could play some stuff from some songs, whatever, right? But as soon as it started to get, like, there's a certain point where it's like, okay, I can do the basic guitar stuff, but now it's actually doing anything is significantly harder. Like, just trying to learn an actual full song the way it's supposed to sound is so much more difficult than any of the basic stuff, and requires so much patience and practice over and over for days and weeks and months. And it's repetitive, and it's difficult, and it's exhausting, and it's frustrating because you feel like you can't get it. That bit where, like, Nina was like, why won't my fingers do what I want them to do? And she's like strumming frustratedly. That's a very real thing when you're trying to learn guitar. Like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and my fingers don't do it. And you feel like then my fingers can't do it because, like, if I can't do it now and I'm supposed to do this 10 times in the first 20 seconds of the song, how the hell am I going to do that, you know? But you get more and more used to it as you play more. So guitar is difficult. It has difficulty curve. Tomo is trying to basically say, I don't think you're going to last past that. And most people don't. And it frustrates her to see people going through the same motions of, like, oh, I'm learning, and oh, look how good I'm getting, and I want to play pro, I want to be great at guitar, and then they hit that wall, and then they're not improving, and then they get demotivated, they put the guitar down, they're only picking it up once every few days, and then they stick to basic songs, and they never get anywhere with it. It's got to be so frustrating seeing people make those same mistakes over and over and over, and so what she sees is that's a sign of, like, if you're not prodigious when you start out, you're never going to get there, because she just sees all these beginners make the same mistakes. However, she clashes with Nina. And this is like a big theming of this show, I think, is these characters' flaws feeding into each other, which is like, it's very strange in a show like this, because there's not really a moral to take, I don't think, from an episode like this, in that, like, I'm not a huge fan of, like, I don't think every show needs to have a lesson. I feel like, you know, that's a sort of old-timey way of writing narratives, where it's like the only reason you would write narratives is to teach some sort of lesson at the end, like your Jesus telling a parable to a bunch of people next to a sheep farm. Like it's I don't think it's necessary to have a lesson at the end of a story. Instead, you just have a change, you have a theme, you have a point, you have a perspective at the end of a story, but it doesn't need to be a lesson. It doesn't need to be something that the viewers can take away from it and learn for their life. And I think Girls Band Cry, in my opinion, a lot of the endings of these, they're not things we can take away to improve ourselves because they are very specific to these characters' flaws feeding into one another. Now, of course, there are positive things you can take away from it, like the idea of being honest with your criticisms, because other people might be feeling the same way and you might be able to reach a similar place. And the idea that different people take criticisms in different ways, sure, those are absolutely lessons you can take away from the episode, but to me it's not the crux of the themes that we're dealing with. To me, the crux of this episode is that Nina's flaws of almost being like incredibly stubborn and being spiteful feeds into Tomo's flaws of being brutally honest and being a perfectionist. Those flaws feed into one another, because even though individually they're bad things about them, the good thing is, though, they each of them collide in such a way that both of those characters go higher. Tomo expects too much from Nina and gets frustrated and takes it out on Nina, and Nina is too stubborn to take it personally, and she is also spiteful enough that when insulted, she's going to want to get better. And so because of those things, like, those two characters aren't necessarily handling the situation in the most moral way, but it doesn't matter, because for us as viewers, what we need to understand is it works for them. What they're doing is, like, they have a weird sort of understanding with one another, and it is going to raise these characters higher to better places. And I think that makes stories way more interesting when you can have characters like that. They don't need to be perfect characters. They don't need to learn a lesson on how to be a better person by the end. We just need to see progression. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing awesome progression in these characters. And I loved the little, like, the full circle moment of the episode starts with Momoka saying, like, it feels a bit mainstream, I guess, but I don't quite know. And Nina going, like, I don't have any problems with it, it's fine, whatever. And the end of the episode, where Momoka goes, I think I have a problem, but actually, I don't know. And then Nina going, Momoka, this song is boring as shit. And Momoka going, that's what I wanted to fucking hear. Because it's not that Momoka, in my opinion, it's not that Momoka was testing her. She wasn't, like, trying to get Tomo to do whatever, you know? I think it was purely, like, Momoka was having the same sort of issue that Tomo was, which is, like, I have problems with this, but if I'm the only one with problems with this song, maybe the problem's with me. And if the problem's with me, I don't want to draw a divide in this band right now for that. But if there's two people who both have that same sort of feeling, then it's not just that. And also, Momoka seeing that fire light in her that she didn't see with Diamond Dust, where she wanted that out of Diamond Dust. I think she wanted people in Diamond Dust to go, you know what, this song fucking sucks. Let's do better. She wanted people to do that, and they didn't, because they wanted to play together. They wanted to be together, and they didn't want to make waves. But when Momoka sees that Tomo is going to make waves in favor of better music, she's all for it, and I'm all for it as well. I really love it. It's so great. Anything else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, the final thing. There was the thing of the snake eating, right? The snake didn't eat all episode, and then he started eating, and when he started eating, then Tomo, like, then, you know, they started to solve their problems or whatever. I would be interested if any of you guys are still watching And if you're the sort of person who is interested in narrative metaphors and theming and stuff, I'd be interested to hear what your interpretation of, like, I feel like that snake eating is a metaphor for something going on within them. Now, I was trying to see if there was an obvious link that I could draw, and I couldn't draw anything obviously. My sort of stretch idea of, like, what that is like the snake representing Tomo and the eating representing, like, taking on criticism and taking on change, where the idea is, like, the snake eating is basically Tomo being more open to what Rupa's about to tell her, which is, hey, you should be more open with people and actually tell them and stick to your guns on this. So that's the possibility. The other thing I was thinking is, like, there's actually an in-universe thing. Like, maybe it's not necessarily as much of a metaphor, but in fact, the snake not eating was informing Tomo's reaction to all these situations, where she was more prone to blowing up in anger at people and yelling at Nina that she's shit at guitar and all of that. She was more prone to all of that because she was stressed about her snake. She was worried her snake was going to die, that he wasn't eating, and that, like, everything was bad. And because of that stress, like, on top of everything else, on top of the AC being fucked up and all of that, like, the stress was compiling and it was making everything worse. So there also could be, like, an in-universe reason. And then once that stress was relieved a bit, she could actually confront her own problems. So those are my, like, main interpretations. But I feel like there is a metaphor with the snake eating that I am not seeing. And if there is something that you guys have your own theories on it, let me know in the comments, because I would be curious. But anyway, thank you for watching this episode. Make sure to support it if you can, liking the video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel. All that stuff helps me out a lot. And go to my Patreon account if you want the full-length reaction, early access, and exclusive videos. You can get the next episode of Girls Band Cry on there right now in full-length version. Go check it out. But thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.